Hello and welcome to Beyond the Bio, the recap. In these short recap episodes, I am reflecting on Monday's main show and thinking about some action that I am going to take as a result of the topic discussed. If you missed Monday's episode, please go back and take a listen. You will find the link in the show notes. This week, I was with Guy Clapperton, who has a media training service. Guy helps to build confidence and competence for people who need to talk to the media. He and his team, they're very experienced media practitioners across print, web and broadcast media. So they're helping people like me, like you, to sharpen their messages, reduce padding and confusion, and ensure that your words are framed so that the journalist isn't tempted to edit those in any way. Guy has experience of being that journalist as he started in the trade press in 1989 before going freelance in 1993 and contributing to The Guardian's technology section. He has spoken internationally and done a small amount of broadcasting as well as having books published. Guy's training operation began in a small way back in 2002 when the phone went and Microsoft asked whether he offered training. And here we are, over 20 years later. I really enjoyed my conversation with Guy, and sometimes I like to tell you how I met my guests. And the story of meeting Guy is quite an interesting one in that I noticed that he wrote a really lovely review of my new book, From Unknown to Unforgettable, How to Build a Personal Brand That Goes Beyond the Bio. And he left this lovely review on Amazon with his full name, and it's quite a distinctive name, Guy Clapperton. So I looked him up on LinkedIn and thought I'm just going to drop him a message and thank him for the review. And we ended up having a bit of a chat. I realised what he did and I thought you would make an awesome guest for Beyond the Bio. So very glad that I reached out to him and really interested in the service that he offers. So there we go, bit of networking in practice there, reaching out and seizing opportunities. It was brilliant to be able to ask Guy lots of questions about how to be best prepared for these media interviews because they are nerve-wracking. You don't know what you're going to be asked, particularly if you're doing something like live radio where you're really thinking on the spot and you're not sure which way things are going to go. So it was helpful to be able to ask for some advice about how you can be best prepared, how you can be succinct, how you can not go off on a massive tangent and waffle away. If this is an area that you're interested in, please do check out Monday's show for all of those tips and tricks. When you think about media, you always think about the big shows and the big newspapers or magazines, the mainstream press. But in this day and age, there are so many other options. We've got lots of options locally. There's online options. There really is lots to go at. If this is an area that you have avoided or you're not as confident in, take this episode as a sign to explore it in a bit more detail. If you're just dipping your toe in the water and you don't have any media coverage as yet, then start local. Think about what is available to you either in your industry that's super niche or within your area locally or a combination of both, and see if you can reach out to them with a view to having that interview on the local radio station or being in the local business magazine, whatever is relevant to you, and put yourself forward. If you want some help to pitch yourself to them, then please go back and listen to the episode with Topher where he talks about pitching people, and we'll make sure there's a link to that episode in the show notes to help with that. But I think this is a very practical opportunity to start putting yourself forward for a few things. Sometimes when I'm being really on it with getting coverage, I will have a period of maybe a month or so where once a week I'll send a couple of pictures out to very targeted publications. And that is a good practice, actually, and I should do that more often because whenever I do and I'm consistent with that, I do get some results. So definitely worth thinking about that and thinking, like I say, widely. It's local. It could be podcast. You could spend a couple of hours pitching to go on someone's podcast. Do have a think about what feels realistic and a starting point. Now, if you're someone that is more experienced in this area, perhaps you've got great relationships with the local press, then you might want to go a bit bigger with this take action. You might want to be a bit bolder. So for you, your take action is to either just go straight in there and pitch some of these bigger publications or shows, and or to leverage those existing relationships that you have locally to see how you can use those relationships to get more national exposure. That is my take action for this week. As always, let me know how you get on, and I will see you on the show on Monday.